Okay, this is the 14th of July, 2014, and it is about 2 in the afternoon. It's a very humid, bright, sunshiny, blue sky day. And this is a Parmarized hive. This one happens to be 5 and 6. We're going to take a look. It has not had any supers put on it, but I have a feeling that it needs to be supered. So that's probably what we're going to do. We're not going to probably get into it too much. This has the beginnings of the bees moving up in this inside frame, which would be the warmest frame. This is side number 6. These Parmarized hives, you can find them on YouTube under Michael Palmer, and shows you how he built them. Now this one is all the way to the top, which means they really need room. And I'll just pull a frame up here just for the fun of it so you can see what it looks like. These are very warm hives, easy for the workers and the queen and everything. This has got a lot of pollen in it, and you can see where the brood has hatched out. They're probably going to try and stuff that full of honey, because we're in a honey flow right now. Do a little trimming as I go. So I need to get a excluder, so I'm going to turn this off and come back when I get one. So this is the continuation where we put the queen excluder on top of the 2 Parmarized nooks on nooks 5 and 6, and then we will put a super on top of that. And you could use a one-piece inner cover, but actually I just repeat and use the same covers that I use for the nooks below. I just use them up on top. Just make sure that when you put them on, they fit within the confines of the box, so you can get your lid on, like so. Okay, so that takes care of Parmarized nook number 5 and 6. Okay, so this is the separate hive. This one happens to be a replacement hive that was sent by the people I order my packaged bees from, which is H&R Apiaries in Georgia. And I ordered 2 packages that came later this year, and one that was strapped to the other was a dead, almost dead. All the bees were pretty much, except for a couple of teacups full, were in the bottom of the container, and they must have thrown something up against it when they put that on the trailer, because the U.S. Postal Service is the one responsible for shipping. So this particular hive has done quite well, so I don't blame that on the sellers, but more on the U.S. Postal Service. So let me get my smoker, because there's all they they're all the way up to the hole here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but usually when you see them in the opening there after you take the outer cover off and you're looking at the inner cover, that's a pretty good sign that they're working up in this particular box. They weren't in this box a couple of weeks ago, so it'll be interesting to see. Oh my goodness! Surprise, surprise, surprise! This particular hive is stuffed with bees. We've had a honey flow on for about probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6 weeks. Because of all the rain, we've had a lot of clover pop up everywhere. I'm not complaining because it's really great for honey flow. Of course, you know, clover is going to be a high-grade honey from the standpoint of its color, but not necessarily its taste. There are many other honeys that are darker that actually taste better. Of course, that's my opinion. But look at this nice brood pattern on that queen, that package they sent me. This is a medium, and I'm running my hives a deep and a medium for Indianapolis. So you're seeing the brood pattern here, and those are all kind of drone cells. I don't see any super seeder cells. I wouldn't expect to. It's about optimum time now for them to get another super, and that's exactly what they're going to get. And I will not put a queen excluder on this. I only use them when I have to. The Parmarized hives, I use them to keep the queens put on either side. Since those Parmarized hives, each side has a separate queen, you don't want them mixing. The workers can mix, and they'll do fine drawing out the single super on top, or double or triple supers. But this one is stuffed with bees, and it's time to put another box on, so I'm going to get one and stick it on there. I have 3 other outyards. I have our church's pastor. I got 2 hives on his property. I just came from there a little bit ago, and the main hive that I put there first is stuffed with bees, and I think, if I remember right, it has 4 supers on it now. A little more trimming in the vineyard, so to speak. These, I'm down to my last medium and small supers, and these are wax black plastic foundation, and these are not drawn out, so it's going to be interesting. You know, it takes 5 to 7 times the energy to draw out wax for one box as it does to fill it with honey. So these are just a few boxes that I didn't lose yet. I used last year. I started out with 3 hives from winter, and I moved up to a total of 19, and I think all but a couple or 3 of those will probably give me at least 40 pounds of honey, and that's not counting the honey we leave on the hive for them. Indiana is not a great honey crop per hive per se, and I think most people probably don't run 100 pounds per hive. And I'm talking excess now, the crop you take off. But I have been fortunate in that most of the time I will average somewhere around 120 pounds per hive. That particular figure could be smaller this year because of the number of starts. You know, I've made 9 splits myself and purchased 7, and of course the rest are the ones that survive, so that comes to 19. So we'll go to the next hive, which is Parmarized hives 7 and 8. Okay, now we're at Parmarized Hive 7 and 8. Give them a little smoke at each entrance. Put the smoker down. We'll take the outer cover off. I'm just going to look at this one to see if they've moved up. I had equalized these two hives about a week ago, moving some frames from number 8 here, a couple over to number 7, so they'd have about the same population, so that I could have them work in this super. Now there's a queen excluder under this, because this hive here is two hives, this hive and this hive, with separate queens that split down the middle. Look it up under Parmarized Hives, and you'll Michael Palmer, and you'll see. Now they've started to move up in here just barely, so they've got plenty of room, and you don't want to put a new box on until they really need it, and that's about at the 70% full mark. They haven't even they just barely started to put some honey in here. So that was a quick look-see. Okay, that's done. Okay, now we come to the last hive, which is a nook. This is a 4-frame nook. Could be 5-frame, because it's actually a full-size nook. The Parmarized hives are 1 frame smaller. They're 4 frames, and the queens really like them. They like to work that 4-frame vertical to 8, 4 on top, so it makes 8. So it'd be like a total of a hive that's got 8 frames. Now I started this as a split from one of my out yards, and it looks like they've done a really good job. Now, I think last time I checked, this particular hive did not have a queen as yet, but it was in the making, so I'm going to have to be real careful taking the frames out of here so that we don't end up with a messed up queen cell, if that's still around. So here we go. Now this is on the outside wall of the nook, and since this is a separate standalone nook, not a two molded together as the Parmarized, this by nature of its position should be basically pollen, as you see it is, and it has lots of honey in the arch shape, rainbow shape, if you will. So this would be an outside feeder frame. Okay, let's put that back. We're going to move it away from the other. They're going to come out. These are very nice bees. Probably could have worked these, but you don't know, since some of these hives are queenless still. They're in the process of getting there. And they can get kind of uppity, because it's not a normal hive. Now, what we have here is brood. You can see it right in the center of your image. So the brood pattern is right here. So that tells me we have a laying queen, which is good news. And there's another start too, and let's see if she's laying any more. I don't see anything but that patch. Hope we still have a queen. I'd like to see some eggs. Don't see any on that side. I don't see any on this side. That's not too encouraging. Put this down and move it over. Go to the next one. It's a very heavy frame, so it means we've got a ton of honey in here. So we're in a honey flow. They're bringing honey in. Now this is some older brood. Still looking for a queen or some eggs. I don't see any. Now, don't be dismayed. If you want to get some bees to move, just blow on them gently. And I don't see any evidence. So make sure we don't have a queen hiding under all these lumps of bees. I see no eggs as of yet. So my guess is there's plenty of places cleared out. They could have a queen that hasn't quite started laying yet. That's a possibility. They seem very content. Generally, if they don't have a queen and you get in messing here with them, they get real uppity. It's a nice old dark comb from years past. Now we've got some cells over here. Those are queen cells, but there's nothing in them. There's a possibility if I don't see a queen in here in another week that I'll just give them some eggs from another. But what I'm going to do is I am going to give them a nook on top so they'll have more room. To expand, because there's a honey flow on, and no sense wasting their work. So I'm going to go in my pickup out front and pick up a nook, and I shall return, as MacArthur would say. Okay, so this is the nook we were talking about. I've got part of this opening down here. I don't know if you can see it with the camera pointing the way it is, but it's partially obstructed just to keep from some of the stronger hives from the temptation of robbing. This particular nook, I really don't expect to bring out any major crop this year. Just to show you, this particular upper story in this separate nook has got two frames of black foundation wax coated and 3 of the natural. I usually use black, but I had some others from previous years, so I just used it. And so that's all I'm going to do with this particular box here. This other cover goes to the set aside because 2 boxes now. We only need 1 cover for now. I generally use these for splits, and they're 1 box, and I graduate to a deep. But after doing Parmarized hives, I have come to the conclusion that a 4 frame times 2, that's 2 nooks vertical, or even a 5 frame times 2 vertical, matures at a faster rate than it does if you put 10 frames, say in a deep. It works better. So that's just my opinion, and that's new this year actually. After having trialed some of the Parmarized nooks that I built, I've got a total of 4 of those, and each is 2 hives, so that's 8 backup hives that I'll have going into winter. And if I take all 19 hives in, that means I'll actually have 1 more hive than I have Parmarized backups. So providing it works out like it does for him, well, that'll be a nice trial. So we'll see what next March shows. Now I'm going to go to the last hive, which is on the deck, and that's a regular hive. Okay, so we're on the deck, and I take this cover off here. I don't know if you can see in there, but this is a special view box that allows you to look at the bees, and I have to take it off to put a super. So when I take this off, you're going to see the actual start of the hive top. So as you can see, I would hope you can see anyways, there's new comb on every one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I run my boxes all with 9 frames. You say, well, why in the world would you do that? Well, started beekeeping when I was in my mid to late 20s, say 27 or so, and I soon learned that if you're going to extract and you're going to get your frames really built out nice, you need to have one less than 10. 10 is too crowded. So here's this honey super, and this box was empty about 10 days ago, and basically I can tell you for a fact that this is probably 99% sealed, ready to be extracted actually. But since this is all going to be extracted honey, I don't worry about travel stain. I could take the new super and put it under this and put the top one that you'd pull on top. I do that sometimes. It's a lot of work, and I'm not going to pull any till about 4 weeks from now. Hopefully I can wait that long. But I don't have any more medium or shallow boxes. I've run out. They're all on hives because I've got a few more hives than I normally do. I normally stop at 15, 14. So I'm going to have to pause again and go out in the pickup, and well, actually out in the front yard and garage, and pick up another deep. We'll put a deep on here, and if they fill that out, that means this hive will make me 60 pounds, because this is all going to be theirs, and they probably will. So I'm going to pause. Okay, I'm back. We had a bunch of bees on the outside of this particular hive. They got quite a motor running in this hive. I probably got about 50,000 hive bees in this baby. Started this out in late April, and I started it in a deep and a medium, and it didn't do well on the deep, and I took the medium away, and it didn't still do well on the deep, so I finally took it away and just replaced the whole hive basically in a medium, thinking more in terms of Parmarized, confined space to get the queen happy and not have them spend a lot of work or effort on keeping the hive warm during the cold nights and some cool days and rainy days, that sort of thing. Turned out it was a great idea. They exploded from that first medium, and then I put a second one on. There's a third one, there's a fourth one, and here's a deep, because I don't have anything smaller. So if you can consider that 3 mediums are the equivalent of a deep and a half, which is what I would leave my hives during winter, this hive has the potential to bring me in 100 pounds if it fills this one out. So we'll see. August is a tough month here, but it has had some surprises in the past. So you can see this thing is that view box. You can see through it.